This is the forest primeval, the murmuring pines and the hemlocks, bearded with moss and in garments green and distinct in the twilight, stand like druids of eld with voices sad and prophetic, stand like harpers hoar with beards that rest on their bosoms. Loud from its rocky caverns, the deep-voiced neighboring ocean speaks, and in accents disconsolate answers the wail of the forest. This is the forest primeval, but where are the hearts that beneath it leapt like the roe when he hears in the woodland the voice of the huntsman? Where is the thatch-roofed village, the home of Acadian farmers, men whose lives glided on like rivers that water the woodlands, darkened by shadows of earth, but reflecting an image of heaven? Waste are those pleasant farms, and the farmers forever departed, scattered like dust and leaves when the mighty blasts of October seize them and whirl them aloft and sprinkle them far o'er the ocean. Naught but tradition remains of the beautiful village of Grand Prix. Ye who believe in hope that endures and is patient. Nope. Ye who believe in affection that hopes and endures and is patient. Ye who believe in the beauty and strength of woman's devotion, list to the mournful tradition still sung by the pines of the forest. List to a tale of love in Acadie, home of the happy. Part the first. In the Acadian land, on the shores of the basin of Minas, distant, secluded still, the little village of Grand Prix lay in the fruitful valley. Vast meadows stretched to the eastward, giving the village its name, and pasture to flocks without number. Dikes that the hands of the farmers had raised with labor incessant shut out the turbulent tides, but at stated seasons the floodgates opened and welcomed the sea to wander at will o'er the meadows. West and south there were fields of flax and cornfields. No, and orchards. Gee, it's a bad day. And orchards and cornfields spreading afar and unfenced o'er the plain, and away to the northward, Blomidon rose, and the forests old. And aloft on the mountains, sea fogs pitched their tents, and mists from the mighty Atlantic looked on the happy valley, but ne'er from their station descended. There, in the midst of its farms, reposed the Acadian village. Strongly built were the houses, with frames of oak and of hemlock, such as the peasants of Normandy built in the reign of the Henrys. Thatched were the roofs, with dormer windows and gables projecting over the basement below, protected and shaded the doorway. There, in the tranquil evening of summer, when brightly the sunset lighted the village street and gilded the vanes of the chimneys, matrons and maidens sat in snow-white caps and in kirtles scarlet and blue and green, with distaffs spinning the golden flax for the gossiping looms, whose noisy shuttles within doors mingled their sounds with the whir of the wheels and the songs of the maidens. Solemnly down the street came the parish priest, and the children paused in their play to kiss the hand he extended to bless them. Reverend walked he among them, and uprose matrons and maidens, hailing his slow approach with words of affectionate welcome. Then came the laborers home from the field, and serenely the sun sank down to his rest, and twilight prevailed. Anon from the belfry, softly the Angelus sounded, and over the roofs of the village, columns of pale blue smoke, like clouds of incense ascending, rose from 100 hearths, the homes of peace and contentment. Thus dwelt together in love these simple Acadian farmers, dwelt in the love of God and of man, and alike were they free from fear that reigns with the tyrant, and envy the vice of republics. Neither had they locks to their doors, nor bars to their windows, but their dwellings were open as day, and the hearts of their owners. There the richest was poor, and the poorest lived in abundance. Somewhat apart from the village, near the basin of Minas, Benedict Bellefontaine, the wealthiest farmer of Grand Prix, dwelt on his goodly acres, and with him, directing his household, gentle Evangeline lived. His child and the pride of the village. I'm so slow today. My brain's working very slowly. I'm gonna keep going though. Keep going. Stalwart and stately in form was the man of 70 winters. Hardy and hale was he, an oak that is covered in snowflakes. White as the snow were his locks, and his cheeks as brown as the oak leaves. Fair was she to behold, the maiden of 17 summers. Black were her eyes as the berry that grows on the thorn by the wayside. Black, yet how softly they gleamed beneath the brown shade of her tresses. Sweet was her breath as the breath of kine that feed in the meadow. When, in the harvest heat, she bore to the reapers at noontide flagons of home-brewed ale. Ah, fair in sooth was the maiden. Fairer was she when on Sunday morn, while the bell from its turret sprinkled with holy sounds the air, like the priest with his hyssop sprinkles the congregation and scatters blessings upon them. Down the long street she passed with her chaplet of beads and her missal, wearing her Norman cap and her kirtle of blue, and the earrings brought in olden time from France, and since as an heirloom handed down from mother to child through the long generations. But a celestial brightness, a more ethereal beauty, shone on her face and encircled her form when, after confession, homeward serenely she walked with God's benediction upon her. When she had passed, it seemed the ceasing of exquisite music. That was bad. That was so bad that I'm like this close to just being like, I'm not going to post this. I'm going to post a different one, right? I'm going to do over. But I'll tell you a couple of reasons why I'm not going to do it over, and I'm going to just go ahead and post what I've just done. Couple of reasons. One, I don't necessarily have time to do it over. I don't have the bandwidth to do it over. Like, I don't have the mental space right now to do it over. So I'm not going to do it over. Also, from I'll explain why I don't have, anyway, we had a hurricane come through this past week. If it had been 35 or so miles to the west, shit would have been really bad here. But it didn't. And so, we had, it was not fun. We had a lot of stuff to pick up, lots of limbs. A big limb hit our shed, but didn't damage the roof of it, thankfully, and nothing damaged the roof of the house. We were without power for a little bit, but not nearly. We had some friends who were without power for a whole day. And in years past, we have been without power for like a week before. And this is just the beginning of hurricane. I mean, I guess maybe it's not the beginning, it's sort of the middle of hurricane season. But in terms of when things typically hit my area, it's pretty early. And it's supposed to be a pretty bad season. So this is only the beginning of what may be coming. And it's a lot of energy to take everything out of the yard and get it secured and then, bring it back out. So I'm a little tired from all that, mentally and all that good stuff. So I think I'm so tired I can't even be like, here's some funny things to say. I got it. I ain't got it, friends. Also, because I am doing Tupelo 30-30 this month, a lot of my creative energy is going into that, and writing poems about women who have been diagnosed with ovarian cancer. And it is, I knew it would be an emotional experience. That's why I had to do 30-30 to do it, because I was just avoiding it. I'm not, let's not think about that. Let's not be reminded that people have this thing that I had and then they died of the thing that I had. And the thing that my oncologist, one of my oncologists, I don't see that, I see somebody else now, but anyway, one of my oncologists at the time, literally said, it's not a matter of if it comes back, it's when it will come back. Okay, well, I'll just see one of the other people in the practice. Thank you. Right? Why would you tell somebody that when it's it was maybe 4 months? I was maybe 4 months out of treatment. What the fuck? Right? Anyway, so the point is, a lot of my brain is kind of going with just thinking about that stuff, because it is Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month. And so just thinking about a lot of that stuff. So that's to say my brain is very full. Also, Evangeline's getting longer. I mean, it's staying the same size, right? But I'm getting further and further in. And so it becomes harder to every day recite the poem. That's what I had been doing, was every day I would recite the poem. And so everything was really fresh. Everything was really in there. I'm still trying to recite it, everything every other day, but it's still, right, combined with all the other factors. So that's to say, don't have a lot of bandwidth. And also the reason I'm posting it is, that I'm going to go ahead and post this one, is because, some days are better than others. Some weeks are better than others. And so that is for folks who may be also trying to memorize some stuff, which I hope you are. It's really fun. Most times it's really fun. Right now I'm just really tired. So if you are part of the Meter Magic Spiral with the Poetry Witch community, or maybe just on your own through something else, you are memorizing a poem, and you've got some days that things don't quite go as well, right? Some days it's great, and some days your brain is just what? Longfellow who? Huh? Evangeline? Arcadia where? Arcadia where? What? Right? So it happens. Some days are better than others. And so be patient with yourself and know that it happens to everybody. Everybody's got good days. Everybody's got bad days. And just be patient with yourself and keep working on it. Because even if you can't pull things out of memory, just even the act of putting them in there or trying to put them in there, gets them in your brain in a way that they wouldn't otherwise be in there. So that when you go to write your own writing, if that's something that you do, when you go to write your own writing, your brain's gonna be like, oh yeah, I got this thing. Here's these sounds, use these. Ooh, don't you like that pattern? You like that pattern. Try not to make Meter get too sexy there. Trying to make it an encouraging voice of Meter, not like a sexy time voice of Meter. But who knows? Depends what the meter is, I guess. So that's why I'm posting it. Posting it because there's a couple other videos that I want to make for some poems. And so between that and also my parents just bought a house about 2 hours from where I live, closer to where my brother lives. And so we're going to go see my parents tomorrow. And so my Memorial Day, see, it's not Memorial Day weekend, is it? It's Labor Day weekend. See, my Labor Day weekend is kind of taken up with that. But I still wanted to be able to check in and let y'all know I'm still working on memorizing it. Still going, still doing my best. So that feels enough for me. I will do my best next week as well. Hopefully I will get through it a little bit smoother. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by.